Thinking, Reasoning, and Language Learning in Children, a narrated presentation. This presentation is based on a study conducted by the Routledge, Taylor, and Francis Group, which looks at the relationship between creativity, play, storytelling, and language abilities in young children. According to Soviet psychologist Lev Vygotsky, creativity is the process of constructing new ideas and behaviors by reworking or restructuring old memories. This process is primarily driven by our imagination, since it is the foundation for all creative thoughts. The research questions consist of the following. What is the relationship between social play and creativity, and what is the relationship between creativity, language, and storytelling? Further on in this presentation, we will be looking back on these questions asked. For the hypothesis, it is based on existing literature, and we expect to be able to find positive relationships between creativity, language, social play, and storytelling within this study. To continue, for the participants, it consisted of 56 preschool children who attended 2 private schools aged between 2 and 7 years old. The first school, Winstead Nursery School, had a total of 33 students, 21 boys and 12 girls. Most of the kids were primarily European American and native English-speaking children, except for 3 kids that were Asian, Indian, and bilingual speakers in their native dialect in English. The second school, Godiva Nursery School, had a total of 20 students, 11 boys and 9 girls. This group was primarily European American, native English-speaking children. This study combined 2 methods, qualitative and quantitative approaches. The qualitative approach included drawing and interviewing the children, and the quantitative approach included completing standardized tests or measures, including those that assess language of the children. During this study, there were several tasks accomplished. The first task was that they asked the children to complete the good enough Harris draw a person task, a standardized measure of creativity which assesses children's ability to differentiate between men and women. The second task, the children were asked to draw 3 pictures, and while drawing their picture, they were also asked to tell a story about their drawing. For the final task, they observed children during 10 minutes of indoor free play. During this time, the children's social aspects and language ability were assessed. The children were asked to draw 3 pictures, a full-figured woman, man, and their favorite thing to do. The drawings received points if they included anatomy features and accessories. The children then were to pick family members of 6 different ethnicities to then create a story. This task was chosen because many children enjoy drawing and do so without much help from adults. Also, this task allows children to be flexible and use their imagination during the task. Drawing allows children the space to engage in creativity, imagination, and intellectual play that allow them to express their feelings. For storytelling, children had the option to pick between 5 ethnic families: African American, Asian, European American, Hispanic, and Indian. The calculation was done by dividing the number of words by the number of ideas. Author transcribed, coded, and computed the child's story for parts of the speech. 6 main parts of speech: nouns, adjectives, verbs, pronouns, prepositions, and conjunctions, calculated a mean length of utterance. The instructions were the same for all 3 drawings, and the author recorded each story. Each child individually completed these drawings at a quiet table in their classroom. This is a story told by a child based on the male figure he drew. One day there was a bear in the jungle. There was a boy. He was strong and was a new king of the jungle. He gave them some food to eat. One day there was a night and he eats for a little bit. My mom, dad, and me eat at night, and then we go to the house when he found something golden, and there was a window, and he go inside and he went to sleep and wake up and the flowers were outside. It was beautiful. I'm a good dancer, and here's the grass. The Howes and Mason play scale was used to depict social aspects of children's play. Categories used such as least to most social types of play: onlooker, solitary, dyadic, and group. Children were observed for 4 10-minute intervals. Selection of 20% of all observations both before and after reading time produced a Cohen's kappa Cronbach's alpha of 0.84. Test of early language development was used between the ages of 2 to 7. The test measured children's expressive and receptive language skills. There were a variety of different categories of play used during the study. Categories of social play include onlooker, solitary, dyadic, and group. This table shows the correlation between the variables conducted in this study. For the results of this study, children's ability to describe their drawings had a lot more conjunctions and pronouns used to describe their stories than what children would use talking to other peers/children at school. Second, the children's expressive and receptive abilities strongly connected between each other. Third, the children's family and play drawing stories contained a great deal of conjunctions and pronouns parts of speech that do not appear with as much thought in their daily conversations with peers/children at school. For this specific group of children, we found significant connections between children's storytelling, language abilities, play, and creativity. Based on previous studies, they expected to find a strong connection between creativity, language, social play, and storytelling. We found a strong positive connection between play and language. For example, children's engagement in pretend play promoted increased verb use in their storytelling. To add, we also found that children who provided detailed family stories also scored higher on the creativity tasks. We also found that children used more adjectives and prepositions in group pretend play than they did while playing in solitude or pairs. In conclusion, we believe that these findings are beneficial for early childhood educators in shaping classroom practice and curriculum decisions. Also, we found that certain types of play had a negative relationship to creativity, and such information can help teachers make curriculum decisions about the type of activity they use on a daily basis. This presentation was based on a study titled The Relationship Between Young Children's Language Abilities, Creativity, Play, and Storytelling.